What if I told you there are anime characters so overpowered they can defeat enemies without even trying, rewrite reality, or even control an entire world from the shadows? From Saitama ending fights in a single punch to Anno's Voltigode completely ignoring the laws of logic, and even Sung Jin Woo rising from the weakest to absolute dominance, this list has it all. In this video, I'll be counting down the top 15 anime with insanely overpowered main characters that truly break the system. And trust me, you'll want to stick around till number 1, because that one takes Overpowered to a whole different level. At number 15, we have Redo of Healer. Now imagine having the power to heal people, but instead of being respected, you're treated like a tool. Used, broken, and pushed to your limits every single day. That's Kiaru's life. But then, everything changes. After reaching the peak of his power, he unlocks something insane. The ability to rewind time itself. And this time, he's not the same person anymore. He goes back to the beginning, but now he remembers everything. The pain, the betrayal, all of it. And instead of suffering again, he decides to take control of his own story. What follows is a dark and ruthless journey where the healer becomes the most dangerous player in the game. This isn't your typical hero story, and that's exactly what makes it so interesting. At number 14, we have Farming Life in Another World. Now, this might sound peaceful, and honestly, it is, but don't let that fool you. The story follows a man who gets a second chance at life in another world, and instead of becoming a hero or a warrior, he decides to live quietly and start farming. But here's the twist. He's not just any normal farmer. He's ridiculously overpowered. From building an entire village from scratch to taming mythical creatures and solving problems with ease, everything he does just turns out completely broken in the best way possible. What's interesting is how calm it feels, even though the MC himself is basically unstoppable. It's a relaxing isekai, where instead of saving the world through battles, he kind of builds his own perfect world instead. At number 13, we have the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. Now, imagine being the strongest exorcist in your world, someone who has mastered every technique and defeated every evil spirit imaginable. But instead of living peacefully, you get betrayed, and in your final moments, you use one last spell to reincarnate yourself into a completely different world. And this time, he's determined not to repeat the same mistakes. Reborn into a world filled with magic instead of exorcism, he quickly realizes that his old skills are still insanely overpowered here too. Demons, monsters, powerful mages, none of them really stand a chance against his unique abilities and experience. What makes this anime interesting is watching someone who was already at the top start all over again, but still remain way ahead of everyone else. At number 12, we have How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Now, imagine being a normal gamer and suddenly getting transported into your favorite game world as your max level character. That's exactly what happens to Sakamoto Takuma. In this world, he's no longer just a player, he's his powerful in-game avatar, the Demon Lord Diablo. And the crazy part? He's insanely overpowered. Magic spells that wipe out enemies instantly, insane defense, and abilities that make him untouchable in fights. But there's one problem: social interaction. Even though he's terrifyingly strong in battle, he completely panics when dealing with people, especially the two girls who accidentally summoned him. So while he dominates every fight without effort, outside of battle, things get hilariously awkward. It's a perfect mix of comedy, fantasy, and a ridiculously overpowered MC who can destroy anyone, but struggles with everyday conversations. At number 11, we have Wise Man's Grandchild. Now, imagine dying in your normal world and getting reborn into a magical world with all your memories intact. That's what happens to Shin. He's raised by one of the strongest mages in the world and learns everything about magic from the very beginning. And because of his past life knowledge, he absorbs it all insanely fast. But here's the problem. He's way too overpowered for his own good. Spells that take others years to master, he can do them effortlessly. Battles that should be dangerous, he ends them in seconds. The issue isn't becoming strong, it's that no one around him can even keep up. And that's what makes this anime fun. It's a classic overpowered MC story, where the main character doesn't just stand out, he completely breaks the system.
At number 10, we have Mob Psycho 100. Now imagine being born with one of the most terrifying psychic powers in the world, but all you really want is to live a normal, quiet life. That's Shigeo Kageyama, also known as Mob. On the surface, he looks like an ordinary, even slightly awkward school kid. But inside him is power so massive that if it ever fully explodes, it could destroy everything around him. The problem is, Mob doesn't want to rely on his powers. He wants to grow as a person, make friends, and be normal. But emotions, stress, and everyday struggles slowly build up inside him. And when that limit breaks, things get completely out of control. What makes this anime special is the contrast. An MC who is insanely overpowered, but chooses self-control over destruction. It's not just about power. It's about learning who you are, even when you could do anything you want.
At number 9, we have I was reincarnated as the 7th prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Now, imagine dying in your normal life and getting reborn into a royal family in a magical world. Sounds like a dream, right? But here's the twist. This isn't just any royal kid. He's reborn as Lloyd, the 7th prince, and he still remembers his past life completely. From a very young age, he becomes obsessed with magic. Not for power, not for fame, but just pure curiosity. And because of his insane talent and knowledge, he starts mastering spells at a level that no one else can even understand. What should have taken years or even decades for others, he figures it out like it's nothing. And the more he learns, the more obvious it becomes. He's not just gifted, he's completely broken in terms of magical ability. It's a fun and chaotic anime, where a genius prince casually breaks every limit just because he's curious.
At number 8, we have Am I Actually the Strongest? Now, imagine being born into a world of magic, but everyone thinks you're weak, completely useless even. That's exactly how Haruto starts his second life. After being reincarnated, he's abandoned and left alone because his magic power is believed to be almost zero. But there's one problem. They're completely wrong. In reality, his power is ridiculously overpowered. It's just that no one can properly measure it. So while everyone underestimates him, he slowly starts living a peaceful life, all while unknowingly carrying power that could change the entire world. And that's what makes this anime interesting. The MC isn't chasing strength. He already has it. He just doesn't realize how broken he actually is.
At number 7, we have The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. Now, imagine being born with god-level psychic powers. You can read minds, move objects, see the future, basically do anything you want. Sounds amazing, right? Well, not for Psyche Kusuo. All he wants is a normal, peaceful life where he can just blend in and avoid attention. But the universe clearly has other plans. No matter how hard he tries to stay quiet and unnoticed, weird and chaotic people keep surrounding him and dragging him into ridiculous situations. And even though he's insanely overpowered, the real struggle for Psyche isn't enemies, it's everyday life itself. What makes this anime so funny is that the strongest guy in the room just wants peace, but chaos refuses to leave him alone.
At number 6, we have the Misfit of Demon King Academy. Now, imagine being the original Demon King, so powerful that you literally changed history itself. After sacrificing yourself to bring peace, you're finally reincarnated, thousands of years later. But there's a problem. The world has forgotten your name, and now they think you're just a misfit who doesn't belong in the academy. That's where Anos Voldegode steps in, calm, confident, and completely unstoppable. He doesn't just prove people wrong, he completely breaks their expectations of what power even means. Spells, logic, rules, none of it really applies to him. If he says something is possible, it becomes reality. And that's what makes this anime so satisfying. Watching a character who doesn't struggle at all because he already stands above everything from the start.
At number 5, we have Solo Leveling. Now, imagine being the weakest hunter in the world, so weak that even low-level dungeons are a life-or-death situation for you. That's where Sung Jin-woo starts, constantly getting injured, barely surviving, and always being looked down on. But everything changes after a deadly dungeon incident, when he suddenly wakes up with something no one else has, the ability to level up. Slowly, fight by fight, he starts growing stronger, from the weakest hunter to someone who starts breaking every limit in existence. And the scariest part, the stronger he gets, the less human he starts to feel in battle. What makes Solo Leveling so insane is that it's not just an overpowered MC story, it's a full transformation from zero to absolute dominance.
At number 4, we have Overlord. Now imagine logging into your favorite game one last time, and then suddenly you can't log out. But it's not just that. The entire world has become real. That's exactly what happens to Momonga. Trapped inside the game as his max-level character, he now finds himself in a new world where he's no longer just a player, but an all-powerful ruler. With his overwhelming magic, powerful servants, and unmatched intelligence, he quickly becomes a force that no one can even come close to. But what makes this anime interesting is that he's not trying to be a hero. Instead, he fully embraces his role as a dark overlord, slowly taking control of the world around him. It's a mix of strategy, power, and a main character who's not just overpowered, but also terrifyingly smart.
At number 3, we have The Daily Life of the Immortal King. Now, imagine being so powerful that living a normal life becomes your biggest challenge. That's basically Wong Ling's situation. Since he was a kid, he's been ridiculously overpowered, like way beyond anything normal. But instead of showing it off, all he wants is a peaceful school life like everyone else. The problem is, his power is just too much to hide. Even the smallest situation can spiral out of control without him even trying. And that's what makes this anime so fun to watch. While everyone else is busy getting stronger, Wong Ling is just trying not to accidentally mess everything up. It's a really nice mix of comedy and school life with an overpowered MC who's honestly just trying to live a quiet life.
At number 2, we have One Punch Man. Now, imagine training so hard that you accidentally become too strong. Sounds cool, right? Well, not for Saitama. After years of intense training, he reaches a point where he can defeat any enemy with just a single punch, no matter how powerful the opponent is. One hit, and it's over. At first, it sounds like a dream, but for Saitama, it quickly turns into boredom. There's no challenge left, no excitement, just endless, effortless victories. And that's what makes this anime so unique. While everyone else is struggling to survive against powerful monsters, Saitama is out here looking for someone, anyone, who can actually give him a real fight. It's a perfect mix of action, comedy, and an overpowered main character who's just too strong for his own world.
Finally, at number 1, we have The Eminence in Shadow. Now, imagine someone who doesn't want to be the hero, or even the strongest in the spotlight. Instead, he wants something way more interesting. He wants to be the mastermind working from the shadows. That's Sid Kagano. In his mind, he's playing out an imaginary secret war against a hidden evil cult, training himself in the dark, building a shadow organization, all just for fun. But here's the crazy part. Everything he's been pretending is actually real. The enemies, the secret organization, the world-threatening plots, it's all real. But Sid has no idea. So while he thinks he's just role-playing his dream scenario, he's actually dominating the world without even trying. And that's what makes this anime the perfect number one. An overpowered MC who doesn't even realize how broken he really is.